So here I've got a little study I did in a workshop today, and I'm wondering what to do with it. It was just showing how to do clouds by rolling a paper towel across damp blue wash. I think it would be nice to add something else to this, and I thought I'd show you a really quick trick of how to put in a little boat and maybe add the sea. It's very simple. Some of you may be able to access these. They are cleaners. You find them in supermarket aisles and also in art shops, but art shops will charge you an awful lot more for these than if you can find them in the supermarket. If you can't get hold of those, any piece of sponge will do. So this is one of the magic erasers. It's quite abrasive, whereas this is a bit softer. So you need some clean water so that you can squeeze the sponge and get it damp but not wet. So I'm going to pick an area in the middle here. I think I'd like a little sailboat. This is really easy. So we're just going to pop a shape, try and sort of work out where you want it. I don't think it's level or not, but we're having a bit of fun here. So to start with, I'm going to squeeze out my normal sponge and just gently wipe down over that, just lifting out. Might have done too much. Let's take it off and have a look. Oh, there we go. That's not too bad, is it? So it's quite a misty bottom on this, which we can change in a little bit. So let's say I want a tiny one a little bit further back. This time I'm going to use the magic eraser. Just make it damp, squeeze it out. This one's a lot more abrasive, so you have to be gentle. You can probably see that bits of the sponge are coming off. That's quite normal. They do wear out quite quick. If you rub too hard, quite easily going to pull the top surface of your paper off. There you go. So you might be able to see that's actually quite a lot brighter than that one, because this is so abrasive it really does lift the paint off. So could you just leave it like that? We've got two sailboats, one in front of the other. Potentially could be one sailboat with different size sails, but I know nothing about sailing, so I'm not going to even pretend to be able to do that. So now I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper. I've got some blue in my palette here, which is left over from earlier, and I've got a flat brush, just a cheap flat brush. So if I just pull it like that until the brush starts to lose its paint, you'll see so what we're getting is a dry brush effect. So I'm now going to drag that along the bottom of this picture. Magically, my brush has found loads more water again. It was interesting. How did that happen? That's fine. So we're just going to let that dry and then try another layer of that blue on top. Although it's almost there, just wanted to show you the dry brush. So I'm just going to let that dry. A couple of minutes to dry, and I'm going to try again. Just going to drag this brush parallel to the paper so it can skip up and down in amongst the peaks and troughs of the paper, which has some texture. It's a cold pressed paper. This gives you a nice sort of watery, sparkly effect. It sometimes works better and sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. Quite happy with that. Gives me some sort of impression of the ocean, and that blue I believe was an indigo, whereas this blue is an ultramarine. So then we could go in and put in a little bit of detail. So I'm just going to pick up a small round brush, and again just using paints I've got left over from earlier. I'm not going to use any different colours, just going to use the indigo again. And as I say, I don't know anything about boats, so I'm just going to suggest something there. Which probably is nothing like a sailboat. It's hilarious, that is. But soften the edge of that away so it doesn't look quite so wrong. It's actually given me a nice edge into the sea there. And just maybe a little tiny little mark underneath this one. And then soften that away as well, like something like that. You could put rigging and masts and all sorts of things like that on, but I'm going to stop there. So what started off as a cloud study is now a boat study. So we used two techniques there, which was lifting out with a sponge and a magic eraser and dry brushing on to the paper to try and give some sparkle. So hope that was useful. This is Jackie Smurden from Dunnock Studio, and I'll see you again soon on the next video. Bye for now.